All right, let's jump straight into it. We are traveling back 4,500 years to the banks of the mighty Indus River to explore the Bronze Age society known as the Indus Valley Civilization. And listen, we aren't looking at some primitive, thrown-together settlements here. We're uncovering a sprawling, highly advanced utopia built entirely out of baked bricks. Their engineering scale and urban planning literally rivaled, and in some cases completely exceeded, civilizations that came thousands of years later. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to reconstruct this lost world step by step, using the historical blueprints they left behind in the Earth. So, here's our itinerary for today. We'll start by unearthing the Bronze Age, move into their marvels of urban planning, map out their ports, trade, and tech, explore their faith and daily life, and finally, try to tackle the great unsolved mystery.
All right, Part 1, Unearthing the Bronze Age, the discovery of a forgotten world.
Think about this. The golden era of this society kicked off way back around 2500 BCE. But for literally thousands of years, these massive, sophisticated cities just slept completely underground. Nobody knew they were there. It wasn't until 1921 that the modern world finally woke them up, when archaeologist Daya Ramsani hit historical gold and discovered Harappa. And then just 1 year later, in 1922, Rakal Das Banerjee made another monumental breakthrough by uncovering Mohenjo-Daro. That year, 1921, is an absolute game changer. Sani's discovery of Harappa was a moment that completely shattered the old Eurocentric timeline of advanced civilizations. Before this, the world had absolutely no idea the Indian subcontinent harbored a society this ancient and sophisticated. When they started brushing away the dirt in Harappa, they weren't just finding old pots, they were uncovering a completely lost chapter of human evolution. And Mohenjo-Daro, discovered the very next year, would turn out to be the megacity of the entire era, standing proudly as a major urban center along the Indus River. Moving on to Part 2, Marvels of Urban Planning, the Blueprint of a Metropolis. Now, as I mentioned, these were definitely not random settlements. They were meticulously planned masterclasses in hygiene, geometry, and structural integrity. First off, their streets were laid out on a precise right-angle grid plan. Just imagine the level of central authority and surveying skill you'd need to pull that off in 2500 BC. They built using these impregnable baked brick walls, which is exactly why these structures have actually survived for us to see today. But honestly, the most surprising fact? They had flawless, highly advanced water drainage systems. Every single house had access to clean water and a way to dispose of waste. To put that into perspective, their municipal plumbing back then was arguably better and more organized than what parts of Europe had in the 18th century. It was a clean, organized society that prioritized public health way before anyone even knew what a germ was. Just picture the gleam of those baked brick streets leading up to the majestic Great Bath in Mohenjo-Daro. It's a total marvel of ancient waterproofing. This spot likely served as the main center for important public gatherings and ritual bathing, really laying the early foundations for the spiritual cleanliness practices we still see in the region today. And sitting right next door to these spaces of cleanliness were the granaries. These massive storehouses were strategically built near the rivers to keep grain secure, and that tells us a lot. It means they had immense agricultural surplus, exceptional foresight, and an administration capable of feeding a sprawling, bustling urban population.
All right, Part 3, Ports, Trade, and Tech, the bustling network.
You see, this wasn't just a single monolith. It was an interconnected web of highly specialized cities that kind of acted as an early blueprint for a globalized world. Down in Gujarat, you had Lothal serving as a bustling port and a global maritime trade hub, welcoming ships from all over. Dholavira, meanwhile, was an absolute marvel for water harvesting and storage, totally essential for surviving those dry spells. Up in Haryana, Rocky Gari stands as the largest overall site we've discovered to date. Over in Kalibangan, archaeologists actually found marks of plowed fields, which really highlights their agricultural muscle. And Mohenjo-Daro, that was practically their industrial district, highly specialized in manufacturing bangles and beads for export. Now, here is a fascinating paradox for you. This civilization achieved incredibly complex decimal math, standard weights and measures, and global maritime trade. They even pioneered cotton farming, creating an industry that the region is still famous for today. Yet, they managed the whole shebang without any knowledge of iron. No iron tools to cut stone, zero iron weapons to forge an empire. They built a sprawling society utilizing raw intellect, bronze, and baked earth. It's a profound implication, really. It points to an entire empire built on trade, agriculture, and economic innovation, rather than warfare and military conquest. Let's shift gears to Part 4, Faith and daily life, the soul of the Indus. When we look at what bonded this advanced society together, their faith was incredibly connected to nature and creation. And remarkably, these practices still echo in modern cultural and spiritual life today. We've unearthed evidence showing a really deep reverence for the sacred people tree, meaning they viewed nature as something divine and worthy of protection. We also see early, powerful evidence of the worship of Lord Shiva, a deity still revered by millions right now. Alongside this, there was a profound devotion to the mother goddess, celebrating fertility, creation, and the nurturing aspects of the earth. By all accounts, their daily lives were peaceful, grounded in an agrarian rhythm, and spiritually tied to the world around them.
Which brings us to Part 5, the great unsolved mystery, the fading echo. So, how does a civilization this large, this fortified, and this scientifically advanced just disappear into the soil? It is the ultimate unsolved historical cold case. Some historians point the finger at the mighty Indus River itself, suggesting that a massive, catastrophic flood just wiped out their cities and destroyed their agricultural foundation entirely. Others lean toward theories of a great migration or an external invasion, often referred to as the Storm of the Aryans, which might have displaced the population. The actual truth? It remains buried. History has left us with this profound unanswered puzzle, making the Indus Valley Civilization just as mysterious in its collapse as it was advanced in its prime.
And I want to leave you with this powerful final thought as we wrap up this explainer. The echo of the Indus Valley Civilization really does still ring today. It serves as this immortal, awe-inspiring testament to human ingenuity. As the quote beautifully puts it truly is a golden story written in baked bricks. From the precise grid of their streets to their deep spiritual reverence for the natural world, the marks of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa are permanently etched into the very roots of India. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a civilization this complex can vanish entirely beneath the earth, only to be found 4,500 years later, what will future explorers find when they dig up the remnants of our world thousands of years from now? Thanks for joining me, and keep your curiosity alive.